Thanks for letting me stay on with your crew, Captain. I plan to be a very generous queen to all my friends.
You could be generous right now. Move into my quarters. They're cozy.
A man who describes his quarters as cozy really means he leaves dirty clothes on the floor. Every captain needs a good first mate. Corso doesn't know what it takes to run a starship, but I do. Considering the light years you've been racking up, I suggest a hyperdrive overhaul and a sublight engine tune-up. Which do you want first?
The last thing we need is to get stranded in deep space. Keep my hyperdrive hyper.
Consider it done. I'll be indispensable before you know it. Bet you were surprised to see I can hold my own in a fight. I'm pretty good with a blaster. My father taught me to shoot when I was 4 years old.
You robbed me of my big chance. Teaching a girl to shoot can be romantic, if you do it right.
And very messy if you don't. Maybe he spared you a visit to the med center. Father wanted me self-sufficient as early as possible. Said I'd need it to survive. He was right. I still remember the day he told me he was going to sleep for a while. Said I was on my own.
Doc was in that carbonite for a decade. Weren't you still counting birthdays on one hand?
I was 11. Made my first solo hyperspace jump and flew to Dantooine. Father had a hideout there. Talk about your one bantha planets. For a few years, Dantooine's population was doubled thanks to me and Father frozen in carbonite.
You had one messed up childhood, Risha. It's a wonder you didn't come out crazy.
Looking back, I should have been miserable. But it was just a big adventure. Speaking of which, we're overdue for some more excitement. What do you say we get back to our latest caper? Sometimes I can't believe you actually got back my crown. Do you know how many spacers died looking for it? Don't take this the wrong way, but when we first met, I thought you'd end up like all the others.
No wonder you wouldn't let yourself fall for me. You were afraid I'd die.
Oh yes, terrified. You're all right, Captain. With a little polish, you just might shine.
This polishing business sounds like fun. When do we start?
I wasn't volunteering, Captain. Just observing. I shouldn't be keeping us from our work. I know how busy we are. I think I figured out why we get along so well, Captain. We're both restless people. It's how we survive. Trouble loves us, and we just keep on moving. Eventually, Trouble gets tired of following and gives up.
I'm the kind of trouble that never gets tired. Do yourself a favor, sweetheart. Stop running.
I don't have to run from you, Captain. A brisk walk is usually enough. There wasn't nearly enough trouble growing up on Dantooine. After being a crime lord's daughter, sitting around got dull real quick. I had a big library of holo recordings from my father, but I could only watch them so many times.
You still had a starship. I'm guessing you weren't long for Dantooine.
By the time I was 14, I'd had enough. I buried Father's carbonite chamber someplace safe and hit the hyperlanes with a new identity. Those were good times. I met Drayen and Adila, got mixed up with Beryl Thorne, lived a life of crime.
Every time I see some idiot scrubbing tables at a cantina, I think of how lucky I am.
Normal jobs are for people who aren't smart enough to earn a real living. I'm starting to enjoy these chats, but I'm feeling restless. Let's go find some trouble.